to the greenhouse build. We started early in the fall last year because we were determined that we were not going to miss our first growing season here in Nova Scotia. The dream of Philip and I's is that we would have a greenhouse. We wanted to build one at the old house, but we were not permitted to be able to have any more structures in our backyard based on our zoning laws there. So moving to 4 acres means that we have the capacity to be able to build some of these things like the greenhouse that was on our dream to-do list, which is what we did, which is so exciting for us to be at the process now of being able to get on the rest of our corrugated plastic here that's going to house around the greenhouse. And remember, we found those amazing old doors at the dump that we were able to find in sort of like a toss away room, and I'm so excited to get those hung up and put on and really give this greenhouse some charm. We also picked up a few things to get our garden started, but things are a little bit slower for the growing season here in Nova Scotia, so we can't plant as early as we're used to in Ontario. So we've had the itch for quite a while, but we have to wait a few more weeks to get a lot of the things we want to actually get in the ground. So today's mission is to complete the exterior of the greenhouse.
Elysia just made a little template. The screws that you purchase for the siding of the greenhouse, what we're using for the glass part, the corrugated plastic.
Yeah, the little screws, the hex end screws, they come white or gray. And in hindsight, we should have just spray painted a whole bucket of these black before we use them, but we really weren't thinking about that at the time. But now that we've decided to paint the greenhouse black, I think it will look better in the overall look if we take away all of these white dots that you see all down the glass of the greenhouse. And so I'm just using a piece of a cardboard from a sandpaper package, and I've created a hole that actually fits right around the whole section here, and I'm just holding it into place and then spraying it with the spray paint. So I'm sure I'm gonna have a few black fingers by the end of the video here, but I think it'll look a lot better in the long run that we won't have those. Now, before we do this, the ones that we're gonna do on the roof, we are gonna spray those before we actually install them. So just the ones that we already put on need to get changed to black.
Honey, look at you in your greenhouse. You're growing out of your greenhouse.
Styrofoam for the win. This is what we should have done in the fall before we actually put the little bolts on that keep that corrugated plastic on, and then I wouldn't have had to go around and work on all those bolts with my little template. It's working fine, but this will be much easier, obviously, than leaning on the side roof to be able to actually get them from white to black. Going black first. I also got another gallon of the black paint that we used. Luckily, I remembered what kind it was, what the name of it was, because it was a really simple name. We were out of the black paint. We need to be able to do our second coats on the whole bottom of the greenhouse. And then we're gonna be building some shelving on the interior, and I think just making it black and making it match everything will be really nice. And then of course, our doors are gonna need another coat of paint as well, which I think the black was a really good choice for the greenhouse.
Oh my gosh, I love the black. I think the black looks so stark on the property.
Yeah, and we have that like really dark gray, some people even think like a gray blue siding on the house with the white trim. And so for some reason, this just makes it look so timeless and classic, especially with those really neat old doors that we found. So I think it was a really good choice as opposed to making a white greenhouse. In addition to the fact that everything white here in Nova Scotia gets different colors moss all over it all the time.
Yeah.
So I think just doing it dark means it's gonna look clean all the time, even if there's hidden moss you won't.
Sing, won't you sing with me? Leave everything for me. Stay the night. Oh, miss your fly. Walk through the rain with me. Get soaked to the skin, feel free. Shut the world out. Let's hang out. Oh, I used to see in colors. Now it's gray.
The top peak going on, and it's kind of a puzzle because we have to work our way down where we can actually access, because once the plastic is on the back side where Philip is right now, we won't be able to get to it. So doing this side and then having that top peak just not adhered on the second side will hopefully make it easier to get it all on the end. Because this is just a top cap for that peak to make sure that the water doesn't go down where the corrugated meets at the top, like a ridge cap. And we're just using those same types of screw bolt things for the adhesives to be able to get it on. Putting the plastic on makes it look so much bigger. I don't know why.
Lift up your head and lead. Count the stars up before you leave. Save a kiss for me, please. Try to reminisce over me. Know that I will cherish your memories. Oh, I used to see colors, now it's gray. Till I met you at the concert the other day. The whole room lit up with warm, sunny rays. Tonight we'll turn minutes into days. And nothing's gonna make me look away.
We're just getting, well, Philip's just getting the last of that top ridge cap on this left side of the greenhouse. I can't believe how amazing this looks. I think because the plastic, it pulls your eye to the sky just with the vertical striping on the top. This makes it feel so much bigger now that we have the plastic on, but it is an 8x12. So we're really happy with the size. I'm glad that we went with the 8x12 instead of the 6x10 that the plans that we used went for, because just adding that few extra feet is gonna give us that much more room, obviously. And I think it just worked out perfect for the specs of what we got for our corrugated, being that they come with 12-inch or 12-foot sheets, and then we also got some 8-foot sheets as well for the tops there, being able to cut them.
Put the bit in my pocket, now I can't find the bit.
You put the bit in your pocket, now you can't find the bit. The sun decided to join us again. Look at that. We have the whole left side of the greenhouse all with the corrugated on. I think it looks amazing. So now what we want to do, since we have the whole perimeter along the bottom all done, is we need to get those foam sheets all along this back side here, which is a bit of a challenge, especially since this side is done, but we're going to get those on and get this roof finished up. Okay, look at what we just did. So we're still going to need some more paint. Show you from the front view. We just hung those doors that we picked up at the landfill. Look at it, adds so much character. Philip's just getting all of the bars everything all leveled out. We really adhered them this time, since I know some of you probably know that they blew off this winter because we just quickly temporarily put them up but didn't have like the heavy duty hinges on it. So now we have the right hinges. Still needs a new paint job, but look at the doors. Open them up, Philly. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love them.
The backs of the doors will be black as well. All of them will be repainted to match everything. Like I said, the greenhouse needs an all over with the black paint on all the lowers and the doors and everything. But look at, and then come out, pretend like you're gardening.
Oh, look at all my garden stuff.
And then I'm envisioning like a cute wreath that hangs on each of the door panes. I think that will look really cute. And then I can change it in different seasons and think like stone pathways and gardens. And oh, I love it. Oh, so much better than just a standard screen door, I feel like. And then I plan on either using the corrugated for the glass panes of the window that are missing, or a really thick clear poly that we have. like just staple it from the inside so it looks like glass. Haven't decided yet, but look at the doors.
Where is the line between dreaming and feeling blue? It's 4 o'clock in the evening. I haven't left my room, but the truth is, if I'm honest, I feel stuck here in the middle. Am I one of those crazy people? Should I stay here or should I let go?
Look at our greenhouse. Oh my gosh, we got so much progress done today, but the sun's gone away. My hands are freezing right now. Elisia's nose looks like Rudolph right now. You have to take a look at this before we go inside. It's absolutely gorgeous. Elysia and I have wanted one for as long as when we purchased a home, we were like, we need a greenhouse in our life. And this, oh my gosh, it gives me all the feels.
One of the things with the greenhouse is it is a costly project. And so we were actually able to do this greenhouse super on a budget. We purchased the lumber really as discount as we possibly could. We reused a lot of the plywood that was already on property here to do the base. And then the most costly part, of course, was the corrugated, which was the biggest part of our budget. So unfortunately, that was a pricey aspect of the greenhouse. That was where most of our costs came from.
Yeah.
But just doing the corrugated and then saving so much on the lumber made this actual project possible. And then of course we found those doors here that we salvaged from the landfill, which means that they can get a nice paint job, and I think they add so much character to the greenhouse. So we got all of the roof completed today, and then all of the perimeter. You can see we have the left side here, the front, we just need this top peak here, and then on the side here and on the back you can see we have the corrugated on all of those areas as well, which is so nice. Now I just want it to rain so I can stand underneath it and know that we have a solid roof. But look at it, it's coming along, YouTube family. So tomorrow we're going to paint the greenhouse, start building the shelving that will go in the greenhouse, and then fill in those top triangles at the back and create some faux glass for these front doors. And then of course, I think we have some planting to do.
We have time.
So thank you for joining us today while we build the next step of our greenhouse. We have big plans for what the landscaping and gardening is going to be here on our English homestead. It's obviously going to be a long project getting our gardens growing, because you know it really takes time to get things growing to the size that you want it, but this is the best year for us to start so that we can grow and grow and grow over the years and add to it. So I love that you guys will be a part of that. But greenhouse is first, because we are growing our own fruits and veggies this year so we can store them for winter and really start all of our homestead journey growing. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.
Every time I hear that bird, I'm like, with the one that's...
Yeah.
I'm always like, where's your head at? Where's your head at? Don't you think that's what that bird?
Oh my goodness. All done. What's the first thing we should grow in the greenhouse?
A love fern.
I love fern.
I don't know.
I think it's amazing. I love it.
I just know you and we don't just go, what's the one thing? It'll be like, what are the 100 things that we grow in there?
It's too early right now at the greenhouses locally for us to get our starter veggies. They don't even have them in stock yet because
No.
it's still, as you can tell, like hoodie and cold, and we do have some nights right now where we do still have frost. So they're telling me that the beginning of June is when the starter veggies all show up. So normally we go for Mother's Day to the nurseries and go get all of our starter veggies and some other plants and stuff. So we're gonna be maybe a week or two after actually heading out to be able to do that this year, which is so uncommon for us because we obviously moved here from Ontario.
But don't worry, YouTube family. The boys and I have something planned for Mother's Day.
We will be getting some planting done this week, and I may have ordered something that I think will shock you.
What?